So the reason I came to coaching was I had goals for my business and my life, but I just didn't know how to get to them. I had gaps of knowledge in business in various areas, and I just didn't know, do I go back to school and get educated? Do I read? What do I do to gain these, to fill in the gaps and get to where I need to go? It's great to have goals, but if you don't know where you're going or how to get there, it's useless. At that point, I realized, okay, somebody who's been there, done it, and has that information would be valuable to me. And that's why I started on coaching.
Well, when I started this process, I had a business plan in one hand and a list the size of Kansas in my other hand of what to do. And what an action coach gave me is the ability to be able to narrow those down to 3 key items.
So reservations about getting started with coaching is, I think, pretty much the same for everybody. It's the cash, right? It's going to be, do I spend this money or not? And ultimately, the question really should be, can I afford not to spend it? Because of the return, that was what brought me in. Looking at the return, meeting my goals. If I was able to meet those goals, then that investment monthly was tiny compared to achieving what I wanted to achieve. And so the obstacle is always usually cash, but you gotta look at the goal and see if it's worth it.
Some of my initial objections in hiring a coach were that they might not know my business, that they're not going to know the objectives and the experience that I have and that I'm bringing into my company. However, what Action Coach has given me is the ability to take solid business ideas and structures and bring those into my experience.
Bob Liebhauser is a great coach because he really holds us accountable. I think he helps us to be less emotional about our current situation and where we want to go. And he's just made things, I think, incredibly easy from a focus and direction perspective. So assigning priorities have been incredibly easy, and it just something that could be very challenging, Bob has made very easy for us.
Bob Liebhauser is a great coach for us because he comes from a place where he can be objective about our current situation. He's not coming from an emotional standpoint about our challenges or our accomplishments. The thing about which has been very helpful to me is the tools that he's given me to understand how to track and measure my behavior and stay on track with those behaviors so I can have a higher probability of success.
So since being a client of Action Coach, first of all, our goals were kind of general, and we started defining some of our goals after working with a coach. Some were financial, some were team-oriented, some were like metrics, getting customers, delivery. They're all over the board. And every single one we've been able to meet and create the next goal, which has been great. Cash and savings, building our team, increasing resources, making our delivery better. We were given resources and we were able to create a plan to achieve those things. And since working with a coach, it's been a year now, we've been able to achieve those and we're creating new goals.